Hello everyone, and welcome back to the first ever episode of Anime Club Super. I'm Reina Scully.
I'm William Hames.
And today we're going to be talking about Princess Mononoke.
Wow.
My favorite Studio Ghibli / Hayao Miyazaki movie.
I didn't know that this was your favorite.
Really?
Yeah. This is definitely a one to be your favorite.
Yeah. Well, I know Nausicaa's your favorite, which is interesting because Mononoke, to me, is kind of an amped down version of Nausicaa.
Yeah.
Because Nausicaa...
You're right.
Nausicaa's really intense to me, and especially because I saw it as a really, really young kid. The insects really freaked me out.
Yes.
And it made it hard for me as like a tiny girl to appreciate. Now, Mononoke was hard to appreciate as a young kid too, but I liked it more.
I see what you mean. It is a toned down version because it's like the animals. Like at one point, I realized watching it this time, there's raccoons in it, like running around and whatnot. And in Nausicaa, it's like this is way past any animal you guys ever had.
Yeah.
And we all know like a lot of Miyazaki's movies are about environmentalism.
Yeah, and preserving it, like humans versus nature. Yeah.
And this felt so real. It was like this could have been like 300 years ago. And in Nausicaa, it's like this is 2,000 years from now, after it all has gone really bad.
Exactly. So in that way, I felt like they were obviously talking about different time periods, but honestly, the two female characters are so very similar. Warrior princess types are very similar that like it's also kind of hard to dissociate. And also like the like I said, the bugs and the insects and the ohms in Nausicaa were hard to swallow. Whereas in Mononoke, like as gross as some of the things were that occurred in it, it was a lot easier to understand that like, oh, these are forest animals, they're forest creatures, and they're more animal-like than insect-like, and it's a little bit easier to, I guess, accept.
And what's really interesting about this movie, and I realized watching it again, is that it's real life. It takes place in almost real life.
Almost real life, yes.
Almost real life. All the people, they're not doing crazy things. They're not jumping off of things.
They're not magical,
And once Ashitaka like has like the demon energy, he like then can like do arrows very strong, and they're like, oh, that's a demon.
Yes.
Humans are just humans.
Right.
And it's a very interesting world. It makes you feel a little bit like trapped. Like, we're used to an anime world where humans can do more things usually. Yeah. This is a world where humans are only humans and they should only be human. Right.
Like, although there is a lot of spiritual interactions, the human physics was bound to the same universe as, like, this reality. I understand that. And also, for me, as a Japanese person, it was kind of the way we look at nature. We believe, as like Shinto Buddhists, we believe everything has a demigod to it. So like, we think that there is a forest god, even though there's no real physical shape for it. Like, we just kind of believe in it, much like we believe in there's a toilet god kind of thing. We just kind of think that there are spirits in all things that are living, or not even living as well.
Each animal had a bunch of animals that all of them could speak, but like some of them had like a main, like the god of that animal.
And they all have relationships, and they have an ecosystem inside of the forest, and like
I thought it was interesting. Why was the deer god the god of? He's the god of that forest?
Yes, he's the god of that forest, and it just happens to be a deer, but it's also not a deer. It's almost like 4 to 3 different creatures put together, actually, because the hooves are different, and like the tail is different, and the face is obviously...
the face is incredible.
I love that face. It used to scare me as a kid, but now I can appreciate
it's like he's smiling.
But he's sad.
But he's sad.
There's something about it.
It's really that's what it is. It gives you chills. It's such a good thing.
Maybe let's take it all the way back and I guess like go through the storyline, because like we already jumped in with like everything that happened. I just love that movie. So
it's the best.
So Princess Mononoke takes place in kind of a like time span that occurred in Japan, like a real-ish time span. And I remember reading that Miyazaki wanted specifically to write an action anime movie that took place in that specific war-ridden time period. And he also wanted to specifically not use flight as a concept in this movie, because he uses flight in everything.
You're right. I just noticed that. That is his thing. He has a couple things, in even his eating a bunch of food. Like, usually characters are, like, gorging on food.
Delicious food, and there's, like, a way that, like, the butter is melting or, like, something sizzling. There's none of that.
This one doesn't have that. It does not have a flying scene or eating food scene. It is a very war-ridden world. Like, and in a different way. It's between, like, the species. Like, the humans are at war with the pigs.
But the humans are at war with each other, too, which is why the Ironworks village has to move in to like work on their new territory, which is what's taking over the forest.
Yeah. I think what like they were learning, which is just like real life racism and things, is you have to like know that some humans are good and some humans are bad. Yeah, that's what Ashitaka was trying to explain to the animals. Yeah. Like, and like I don't think the animals were ever trying to. Yeah, but it was that way.
Yeah, and Ashitaka is a really, really interesting hero main character.
Strange he's a man for a Miyazaki movie.
Oh, right, because usually it's the princesses that are the heroes. Absolutely. I mean, it's really interesting. San is the real story, but it's Ashitaka's journey, right? So
yeah. I feel like we wait to the movie is called Princess Mononoke, but she doesn't come in for the first like 35 minutes of the movie.
Totally,
and she's absolutely incredible, and we love her, and she looks just like Nausicaa, except really a little bit different. Yeah,
really does. Yeah. But like it's absolutely his journey, and it's almost like it's centered around her because he is like obviously so infatuated with her, and not even like romantically. He just thinks like he understands that even she is kind of a demigod.
Yeah, he wants her to live. Because they both are the same in a way.
In a way.
They're both neither human nor the
For him, not anymore. Yeah, absolutely.
He was human.
Yeah.
And then he isn't anymore because he's cursed.
Yeah.
She was cast away.
To take that back a little bit, though. Yeah.
Yeah, she was cast away by humans.
Yeah.
And she's only known the life as a wolf, but they can't... The wolves accept her, but the other animals
don't accept her.
Even though she can communicate with the other animals, like she talks to the apes, she talks to the boars.
Yeah.
But
and the boars respect her. Well, the boar god respects her because Moro respects her.
Yeah. I love how the apes are terrified of the wolves. Like,
but the apes are also, they're angry. They're the most angry.
Yeah. They wanted to eat a human.
Well, yeah.
I wasn't sure why. I was like, what's going on here, guys?
Yeah, that was, it gets dark.
Unlike most anime, like, magic in this world is bad. Like, if you are having anything extra, it's like, it seems like it's coming from a bad place.
I guess so, actually.
Only the forest spirit, like, he's the only one that, because he gives life and takes
away,
he's the only one that has, like, any good magic.
Yeah. I feel like the spirits aren't supposed to be good or bad at all, which is kind of the way Japan views any kind of spiritual thing to begin with. It's supposed to kind of create a balance, and there's no, like, just like the deer, as you said, it takes life, but it also
gives it.
It gives life, but it takes life away, kind of thing.
When he steps, like,
things bloom, but then it wilts immediately after he leaves.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. It is both. Yeah, it's neutral.
It's neutral. Yeah,
it's everything.
And that's why the animals are that way too. Like the wolves are a little bit aggressive because I think that's just supposed to be their personality.
Yeah, that's how they are.
Yeah, but like even the boars, like some of them are dumb, obviously because they're boars, but they serve the purpose in their own like forest ecosystem.
Yeah, the boar spirit. Yeah, he said that we grow small and stupid. Yeah, I was like, that's interesting that he was able to observe that about his own race. Yeah, because they run off and they squeal. Like, they're just loud. Yeah, but the wolves are quiet. They have time to think and be introverted.
And there's less of them, so their clan is more intricate. Well, intricate's the weird way to put it, but, like, it's a lot more tight-knit, and therefore they have to be more tactical anyway. It's not about, like, everything, really.
The dynamic was good, and the way that he displayed all the animals, I felt was true how those animals would be.
Yeah, all the gods respect each other. All the main gods of each animal clan respect each other and understand what the territory is, and they're like, well, this god serves for this purpose, and they know what poisoned each other, or they don't know what it is that poisoned them, but they know that it came from the Ironworks village.
And the point of the movie is they all matter. Is that we have to keep all of them. We can't eliminate any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other point of the movie is that, you know, we learned that Lady Eboshi, what she did, like setting the forest on fire, caused the boar to go into Ashitaka's village, which made him be infected.
Right.
So, like, no matter what you do, like, it's gonna affect someone else.
Yeah.
Like, she's good, but that ended up doing a bad thing to him.
Right. Miyazaki's really good about really showing how there is always a good and a bad, and it's always about the perspective. Like, there's no real evil in any of his stories. I don't think. Maybe there is something where there's, like, a real evil, but especially in things like Mononoke, Nausicaa, Spirited Away, like, there's no evil, right? It's just, like, misguided things or confused things or, like, things
Greed will take you over into evil. Yeah, and that was very present in this movie. Like, the reason that the boar became a demon was because he had hatred in his heart.
Right.
That really got me. I was like, that's so good.
And there's even more than his forest getting lit on fire. It was also because, you know, the bullet, they called the bullet the poison because they didn't know what it was. There's no iron in any part of anywhere else in Japan yet, except for Lady Eboshi's village. Yeah, so that, like, thing that came out of him, everybody didn't know what it was, but that's a bullet. So he got shot with it.
And they were like, we don't know what this is yet.
Yeah, but this is like it holds a lot of bad, evil things inside of it, and that's why this spirit, especially with the poison that caused the spirit to go, like, haywire, basically, it can't possibly mean anything good, so you have to kind of fight this now. Like, you have to fight your, like, next demon. Like, whatever this came from is what you have to find and fight for, really.
And it just keeps going on forever.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's supposed to be like fate, right? Like, so it brought him to the forest, it brought him to Sun, and it brought him to the wolves. And
actually, it ended up into a good thing, because the movie did end good. We're happy at the end, mostly.
Which is surprising.
There wasn't a genocide on the boars, close to, but...
I mean, close to. I mean, a lot of bad things happen, but at the end of the day, like, Eboshi learning her lesson is kind of a reductive way to put it, but she did. And
I think her lesson was great. It got me because, so what she wanted to do, she said, look, men, I'm about to kill a god. This is what it looks like. Which, of course, at the time we're like, don't kill a god. But at the same time, I'm like, I admire you so much for, like, flawlessly executing this dangerous thing. So, but what we learned, she did kill a god, but she lost her arm.
Yeah.
Which makes sense in this world.
She didn't kill it.
Yeah, she didn't kill it.
Yeah.
She did shoot it, which no one else would ever do.
Yeah.
And she interrupted it. But, like, you can't attack a god like that without taking damage to yourself.
No, you can't.
Everything makes sense in this world.
Yeah, there's a consequence to your actions. And I think they're supposed to be, like, appropriate to what you've done. And also because, like, it's not like she has, like, pure evil in her heart or anything. She, wanted to prove herself. Like, obviously, Japan has, like, their own history of sexism. But, like, this Ironworks village is supposed to be a really, really exemplary... not exemplary, but, like, it's supposed to be a very special village because Lady Eboshi not only gives... I think the leprosy people a chance. Well, I don't know if it's leprosy. I actually don't know how they described it.
Actually. I don't think they did.
Yeah, they didn't describe it in Japanese. Yeah. They just described them as, like, outcasted, diseased people.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe in English they had some kind of, like, disease that they can give to other people.
Yeah, and the sub I watched, they didn't describe it. But that's what you expected, I thought, as well.
Yeah, but, like, she
takes care of them.
Well, she's amazing because she has literally no discriminatoryness to her, and that's why her village is so interesting, and the women are so powerful in it as well because she utilizes them in the right way, and they can hold their own. But, like, that, I just... Okay,
and she was never, I mean, she was greedy, I think, trying to kill the god was too much. That's what I mean.
I feel, it was too much, but
that was the only way.
But she's also in the middle of a war with humans, right? And in another part of the world, or in another part of Japan, she's also at war with other people that want her iron. So, as a woman that is kind of changing the world and moving into the new frontier of the world changing, if you could kill a god, like, wouldn't you kind of rule that land?
Yeah.
So, I don't agree
guess
with
that's
it.
true, because she was like, to her, she was looking at it too technically. She was like, I want this forest. This is my forest, not the deer's forest.
Or human technology is winning, so what are you going to do about it? We're winning.
And they were too smart about it when they were, like, chopping down the trees just to make the boars even angrier, like,
Yeah, they had a lot of tactic. And also, that's why Jigo, the old guy, that, like, you don't know if he's good or bad.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, but he was a part of her, like, task force to help take it down. That's why he's the one that helped.
Towards the end, I felt that he was bad. In his faction, like, his group of people, I was like, I don't think what they were doing was good.
He was absolutely bad, but he also
did
learned.
Good stuff,
He learned, and he was just like, there are just certain things you don't mess with, and gods are one of them.
Don't do that.
Why don't we already know that? So I had a huge crush, obviously, on Ashitaka and Sun and the wolves. I don't know. The wolves are hot.
I agree. Those are some hot wolves.
They're sexy.
Like, I want to be with them.
I want to be with them. And, like, Sun's so dope. Like, she's amazing. She's
when she pulls out the knife, it's so cool.
And her movements are incredible. I heard that there were over 144,000 hand-drawn frames, and there's a rumor that over 80,000 of them were hand-drawn by Miyazaki. I know. Right. And he's all like, whatever. But I think it's true because this is supposed to be a passion project of his, and he wrote the concept of Princess Mononoke as something else, like, 30 years prior to when it happened.
I didn't know that.
And it was originally supposed to be like a cat monster, which looks like the cat bus.
The cat bus?
So that like stopped being cutesy and he redeveloped it into this like war-ridden era that was action oriented.
Yeah, and this is the only movie you hear people say like if you put it on film and shot it with real life, this is the only movie that you could switch over into live action and it would make sense.
Yeah. I heard that he even had like a stop timer and he had people like do physical movements, like literally just to be like, psh, like to open a door like that. Really? And like he timed it. Wow. And that's how he like framed it out.
To make it feel as real as possible.
Like when like your joints like snap into place, like he made it like snap. So you know the shot when in the beginning where Ashitaka's like arm goes like bananas for the first time and he shoots through the arm of the person whose arrow's like held onto the tree still. That scene where like the flesh just kind of like dangles on the tree, like that was it's incredible.
It's unreal.
It's unreal. Like, why does it look like that?
Once he gets the demon spirit and he begins killing people, all of those scenes are really good.
When the neck snaps open and
and it's really good because it's always far away, and it's so good, and also the sound effect on it sounds like simple, as if he's not even really trying, like he's not putting all of his effort into it.
Yeah, but like you can hear this like weird like fleshy sound like fighting his arm.
It's like rubber. Yeah. It's really, all the sounds in this movie are really good.
It's really incredible. The sound design's amazing. So Ashitaka, the name Ashitaka is really special to me because I live right next to Ashitaka Yama. Literally Ashitaka Mountain. So if Mount Fuji's right here, Ashitaka Mountain is right here.
Wow.
And my hometown is right here.
Wow, right next to it. Is that what he's named after?
I don't think so, because they say that he's from the Tohoku region, which is more north than myself, but it would make sense if he was from my area because the boars had to come to him, infect him, and then he had to go to them. Yeah. So I like to pretend that my mountain has something to do with it.
That's where it's from. Because then he had to go on that journey.
Yes, exactly. One weird fact. So mountain is called Yama, but it's also called Sun. Oh. So it's technically Ashitaka Yama, that's how it's named, but if you read it a different way, you could read it as Ashitaka Sun, as in sun and Ashitaka. Yeah, I don't know, I think it's cute. I know, I just shipped them, whatever.
I shipped them too.
Whatever.
And rarely, like you were saying, it's not really romantic. Like Ghibli movies aren't usually about romantic love between male and female, but this is the most romantic I've seen. I mean, you have Howl's Moving Castle, which is that. But I was like, he's like really into her. He loves her.
This is real infatuation. I feel like he sees a god in her. Like he like almost can't believe that she could even look like a human. You know, I think he's infatuated with her.
I get it.
Me too. But also, man, he is the sexiest. Wait, I shouldn't say that. I don't know how old he is. I mean, he's a cartoon, but he's so sexy, man.
If I was a kid cartoon, man.
Oh, if I was a kid cartoon girl. Oh my god. He's amazing though. He's a silent hero. He is pure good.
He is pure good.
He's pure good.
He knows he's gonna die soon. He knows he has to die soon.
But he still saves people.
Yeah.
He innately just saves people.
Everyone too. He saves everyone.
I love him.
That's pure peace. Yeah. You're right. He's a great character.
All right. You have to start. Okay. What's your favorite part?
Oh man. So, the last time I watched this movie was probably about a year ago. But first time I saw it was in 10th grade. My biology teacher was, after we did our exams, he was like, all right, I'll show this movie. And I had only seen Spirited Away back in like 7th grade.
Yeah.
So, but I knew who Miyazaki was. I knew what Ghibli was, and I was obsessed with it. And I was like, an opportunity to watch another one.
Your biology teacher's dope.
I know, right? And I hated him. But he showed this movie, so I have to find him in the future and be like, you know what, you actually are pretty cool. So I watched it again today as an adult, understanding the world so much more than I did back then. Yeah. And I didn't even expect I started crying watching it this time.
Okay, cool.
I got too focused, and I was really feeling it. And my favorite part of the movie is when Lady Eboshi brings out the other two women to fight San. And she was like, these women were their husbands were killed, and they want to seek revenge. And I was like, that's so real. It's like
poetry, right?
Like these women, like their lives have been taken from them, and I'm on San's side, and I want her low key to kind of get Lady Eboshi.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, also at the same time, these women, your mother spirit, them. Like you
straight up moral ate them,
and that's why it's like, who is a good guy?
Yeah, exactly.
And that literally got me. It felt real to me. And once again, Ashitaka is the good guy because he doesn't let anybody kill anybody.
He doesn't let him. No, he just knocks them out.
He knocks them both out.
Yeah. I love it. And then he just drags them away. How is he dragging all? girl.
Yeah, and they're like, wait, you can't do that to her. Yeah.
Man, oh man, my favorite part. This is like the toughest question. I have a lot of favorite parts. I actually will say that my favorite action scene does happen right after that, when San runs up towards Eboshi and just starts swiping, and it's so fast, and she moves like an animal, and they drew her that way too. Like they drew her half human and half animal.
It's
and they
savagely.
And when Ashitaka grabs her and stops her from moving, the way she like wants to get away from his arm is so animal like. I've seen my cat do that to me when I have to like feed it medicine, you know, and she's like kicking and like scratching at him away, and then the spirit thing comes out and it freaks her out even more. She's so animalistic, and
she's like to hurt you. She's trying to hurt you.
She's trying to get away, and her facial reactions, like, they're so genuine. You know, like, she's so angry and, like, she's so ready to kill something, but she sees that, like, it's a spirit now that's, like, trying to get him and her, but it's also not really hurting them. And she can't tell its motive, and I don't know, I just love San. I, like, wanted to be her. I wanted to be a wolf girl. I wanted to be this, like, insane wolf creature.
She's so cool. I want to hang out with her.
And I love the way she immediately respects Yakuru, you know, his red elk. And
she tries to set him free.
And that's why she understands that Ashitaka is a good guy.
Yeah, because she spoke to him. He was like, how do you know Yaku's name? She was like, I spoke to him.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what characters in Ghibli often are, like, very connected to the environment and nature and spirit. This is the only one I know of where they're directly talking to animals, unless you can count Totoro. I mean, and he doesn't speak back.
He doesn't speak back.
That'd be weird if he was like, hey, how you doing?
What's up?
Hey.
I hate it so much. I hate it. I want to go back to what you said about, like, how you felt, and it kind of made you almost, like, cry. Like,
I did,
So
because it was real.
Miyazaki has this way with how he represents Japan and nature, and Japan is really stunning. And I know I'm obviously saying it out of a bias, but when you go there, you feel this really strange depth. Even though, like, you've never been to a certain area, like, even though you've maybe only seen it in pictures, there's something you feel in its energy, and it kind of, like, pulls you into that moment. And I feel the same way when I watch really emotional Makoto Shinkai movies like Your Name, which you'll feel the same way.
Okay, I haven't seen that yet.
You'll feel the same way. It does this thing where, like, it makes you feel sad, but nostalgic, but happy, with this, like, really calm sense of happy, but it's, like, it's almost too calm that it's unsettling because you're not used to it. I feel like Princess Mononoke is the absolute movie that makes you feel the way Japan makes me feel. I feel that when I watch that movie. I literally feel the way I do when I'm, like, in a forest in Japan. This, like, weird, like, really silent, like, I'm almost scared, but it's not scary. It's very calming, but it's almost too zen for it to be real, and it kind of freaks your body out, so you start crying. But it feels really good. It feels really like your spirit's cleansing itself. And I feel very much like Princess Mononoke is that movie. Even though something like Spirited Away is very much in your face about the spirits, it's almost showing how lively they are and how they don't mean any harm. Whereas in Mononoke, it's like, it's karma though, so they do mean harm if you mean harm.
It's real life. It feels very real.
So it feels,
every action has a reaction here. So
favorite.
Good.
My favorite.
It just made me realize now that you mentioned that, like, Spirited Away is, like, in this same world that it's like when these spirits are like, all right, well, now time for me to go get a bath.
Time for a bath.
And then they
time for a feast. Time for a bath.
And then they go there. And then they come back to their forest.
And they have to do their duties.
That's all. That being, like, you know, Hayao Miyazaki had already been creating for like 30, 40 years when he made Spirited Away. And the only way you can come up with an idea like that is if you've already created so many great things.
And so I heard that he is one of those, like, psychotic people that draws everything out first and then he writes the storyboard.
He doesn't write scripts.
He doesn't write scripts, right? That's why everything takes to the last second, and he has no idea how to time things out.
I've thought about that all day today. I feel like what they do, they create feelings in, like, a vast, like, more than the movie. They create more good and amazing, cool feelings, and then they cut it down into the movie.
And then makes the story. They cut out the story out of the vast environment that they created.
And I was thinking, you're familiar with the Nausicaa, the no cuts thing.
What?
Where I think Disney put Nausicaa into the movie theaters, and they were like, this is long, so they cut stuff out. So Miyazaki sent a samurai sword and said no cuts.
I do.
Yeah, because he's like, I create all these amazing feelings. Yes. They're all so good. Don't cut anything out.
Don't cut anything. It's not. That's not my art.
Yeah, we don't know what he cut out. So
exactly. Wow. Yeah. I've heard of that. I just didn't know that was the extent of the story.
Yeah, for Nausicaa. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Princess Mononoke is, I'd say, a 10 out of 10. I love every single second of it. It is action. It's romance. It's fantasy. 10, it's adventure.
I will say there is one thing. There is one thing that gets me stuck.
What?
Is it okay that there's one thing that's not perfect about my favorite movie?
Yeah.
So Ashtaka, I believe, has a fiance from his origin village that gives him the
Oh yeah, she was like, I don't care. Like, I have to talk to you.
Yeah, and she's like, I'll always think of you. And he said, I'll never forget you either. And then he and then he gives it to Son. And then Son uses it to save herself.
Yeah, well, you're right. He never thought about her again. He never brought her up.
That's why I was like, that's the one thing I'm like, not. If it were to be a love story, I wanted it to be pure and 100% one track. So I wanted it to be like 100% one track Son. But then I thought about it and I was like, oh shit, I think he was supposed to marry someone else.
That's so funny.
And at the end, I think she goes. So San and Ashtaka, after you know the melty thing happens and it's all vastly beautiful again. She goes, I still can't forgive humans and I can't live with them. And he goes, that's okay, I understand, but I'll come visit you. I'm gonna go live at the ironworks and help Lady Eboshi and the women of the village. But I'm gonna come visit you. Does that mean? What does that mean?
I think it's one of those great endings. It's not the generic ending where it's like, and then we all live in the castle. No. We all. This is what real life is like. We make it work. Yeah, and it leaves the imagination open. There's still more that happen.
I want them to live happily in that cave that they slept in. I just want them.
Just stay there.
Stay there forever, and just have a cute little like wolf babies.
Wolf, half wolf. Yeah, like where the wolf even come from?
I want to end this on one fun fact for you that is going to bridge us into the next episode, which is going to be about Nausicaa, your favorite Ghibli movie. The Japanese voice actress for Toki, who is the wife in the Ironworks village of the guy that Ashtaka saves, the one that's all like, I can't believe you saved my dumb husband. Thank you so much. And she's so dope.
She just, that was so good. I love the women in this village.
And her energy is so good,
she was like, I worried about you, but all she does is make fun of him in front of his friends. She thought he was dead. But
but she loves him. But she's all like, you're good for nothing. Like, thank God this prince brought you back.
The wolf should have got you. And they're all dying laughing.
Totally. So I love her. Her voice actress is the same voice actress as Nausicaa.
Oh, is it really?
That's Nausicaa's voice.
Wow, I didn't notice that. Wow, okay, cool.
Thank you so much for watching. Let us know what your favorite moment in Princess Mononoke was in the comment section below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like we said, we are going to be watching Nausicaa next week, so if you have time this week, check it out, and we'll talk about it then.
Thank you so much for watching. You know we love talking about anime, so
our favorite.
It has to happen.
Has to happen. Bye.